I'm going to show you how to use the pocket hole jig. The reason why we do a pocket hole is, imagine you have two pieces of wood. It could be pieces of 2x4 like this, or two pieces of 3/4 inch, whatever. You got two pieces of wood that are going together. What you don't want to do is say, put the screw in through this way. The reason why is because if we're screwing into end grain, that's not going to be very strong. The grain of the wood is going this way, so that's the end grain. So if we were to screw into that, that would not be very strong. If we screw into this, that'll be strong, but it won't be strong if we screw into that. So the goal of the pocket hole jig is to give us a nice strong joint and allow us to put in a screw at an angle. This is ultimately what's going to happen. This is how the screw is going to look. It's going to go in at an angle like this. So then we're not going, like, let's say, straight through end grain. We're kind of biting in the grain a little bit better. We do not want the angle to be this way. So that's something that's going to be something you're going to have to think through and be tricky in terms of setting up. The reason why is because if you notice the bottom right corner there, that screw is going towards the outside. So that makes this area kind of weak. Maybe that could kind of break. So if we go like this, that's going to make the joint much stronger. We also would put glue here too. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to use this. This is the pocket hole jig. Right now we have two of these. We have a bin. It's very important that we don't lose any of the parts here. I have an impact driver for putting in the screws, and then I have a drill bit as well. What you have to do a little bit of setup just to get this set up for the proper thickness of wood. So right now I'm using 1.5 inch thick wood because it's a 2x4. So this gray slider, this moves based on the thickness of wood. So I can push this in, squeeze on both, move it. So if I'm doing 3/4, I put it to 3/4. And then this drill has a collar. My thumb's pointing to the collar. That collar needs to be adjusted depending on the thickness of wood. So if I'm drilling 1.5 inch, so if you notice I'm on 1.5 inch, but if I go to 3/4, like, so I'd have to get the circle on 3/4 there. The way that I adjust the collar is with this grub screw, which is very important. You use an Allen wrench that's included with the kit, and you're going to loosen up that, don't pull it out, but loosen it up, and then you can slide the collar up, and then you can lock the collar in. It's very important to not over tighten these grub screws. You just need to get it snug to the point that the collar doesn't move. Otherwise these strip really easy, and that's going to ruin this. That's not good. So anyway, this is a special fancy drill bit for this tool. I'm going to put it in the drill. Now this fancy handy dandy thing here is going to help us drill the hole. If you notice, when I put the drill in here, you can see which angle it's going. So one thing that I like to do when I'm doing pocket hole jig is I would actually draw, get my pen out, I would actually draw on my piece of wood showing which way I'm intending to drill. So if you notice here, I drew a line, so I know I'm thinking, kind of planning out, the drill's going to go that way, and I'm putting my holes right there. So if I'm thinking about the jig, well, when I put the drill bit through here, the drill bit is going that way, so now I just got to kind of line it up. Oh, well, that you know, and then it's like, okay, well, those are going the same way. So now I'll put my piece of wood in here. Then you want to kind of center this. So we're going to do 2 holes. We're going to do those 2 outside holes. You squeeze the trigger. This kind of like clamps, it tightens on there. So now I'm ready to drill. So I'm going to take my drill. I'm going to drill through here. Notice I'm spinning it as I pull out too. So it's really that simple. So now I'm going to release this by pulling here. I can pull my piece of wood out. Now if you look here, I have some holes drilled. I would put glue. So where those surfaces touch, I would put glue. And I'd line it up real good. And at this point, then I'd use my impact driver to drive both screws down through into there. Let me know what questions you have.